Hey, good morning. It's Saturday here in Texas. It's going to be a great, beautiful day. Going to a party this afternoon with a bunch of people I really don't know. But that's okay. That's actually better than going to a party with a bunch of people I do know that I don't like. And you'll learn this. As you progress along, you're not going to be around people. You're not going to want to be around people that you don't like, that don't make you feel good. You know, it's a gradual process as we kind of take back our lives. And that's what this whole thing is about, in my opinion. This whole thing is about taking back your life, not turning it over to somebody, and learning not to make the same mistake again. You know, it was a year and a half ago that it was 2 years ago that I was at my worst point, when I couldn't get out of bed, barely could get out of bed. I didn't want to get out of bed, okay, but I could barely get out of bed to get my kids off to school, because I would do that every morning. I would take turns with my ex, and we would get the kids off to school. Now, 2 years ago exactly, it was summer, so we could sleep in. But a little bit prior to that, like around May and June, I could barely get up to take the kids to school. And then when my spouse went to work, since I worked out of the house, I did some contract work, and I did some different things where I worked out of the house, able to make a pretty good income at it, actually. I would go back to bed. I was just like, my brain was just like trying to wrap my brain around why I was in such a funk. You know, I didn't realize that, like many of you, that you were actually being brainwashed. You were actually being conditioned to believe that you were the problem. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, you're probably already seeing this now if you're in this group, but you are not the problem. You've got a person that has a very subtle, very covert dysfunction that not a lot of people are aware of. And that's what's really cool, is this group and other groups and YouTube videos, and now with all the knowledge that we have, and we're accessing it through the internet, and we're talking about it with each other, we're creating a new awareness about this whole thing with narcissists and narcissism and NPD and psychopaths. And there's been books out there that have been around for a while, but it's just now taken, I think, full circle to where we're taking back our lives. Okay, we're realizing that there are problem people out there, and we're told that. I'm going to read your comment here real quick. I want and need to have more patience for victims of narcs who, in my opinion, seem to embrace the dysfunction. I apologize to all that may seem harsh and critical. I came from a different position. Sorry, I can't read the rest of them. I'm driving. Yeah. Hey there, Frank. So I've got somebody on here now who is trying to understand the position that the victims of narcissist abuse have. And I appreciate you being on here and trying to learn. Yeah, you know, and this is what's hard for the people that have not been through this. And by the way, I think there's very few men, and I think the men that do are brave, including myself. But I think there's very few men that talk about this, that have gone through this, and that actually talk about this. And I think the reason is because society kind of looks at them as, you know, being weak, and come on, buddy, you know, happy wife, happy life, and I guess guys are just, you know, societal norms say that guys are supposed to kind of suck it up, you know, be man up about it. But it's just as destructive, if not more destructive, I'm not going to say it's more destructive than what women go through, but I think with men, we can't even get it out in the open to talk about it. Number one, men are, in general, in the American society, are taught to not really encouraged to share their feelings. Okay, it's not something that that we're led to believe is a trait for a healthy super American man. Super American man. Well, I think you know the gist that I'm getting at. So for men to open up about just being verbally or emotionally abused, it's not so much physical abuse, but there are men that go through that too, especially maybe by their mothers. That's more like child abuse, which has a very child abuse is very well taught, very much talked about nowadays, which is good, in my opinion. So we have this double standard, I guess, if you will, this in our society, in American society, and probably in other societies as well, although I've never lived in Australia or England or whatnot. But from what I gather, the Western culture, it's pretty much the same. It exists in the other countries as well. So that's really frustrating for a man that has suffered through this disease. Now, for anyone that suffered through it, it's very debilitating. And for one, what's debilitating about it is as being the victim or being a target. And a victim implies that I have no power. Well, I would like to say I'm a survivor because I'm no longer involved in that. I no longer have that. She no longer has the power over me that she used to, so I'm a survivor. So, little choice of verbiage there, but somebody who's been through this, somebody who is victimized by this, and for the sake of understanding here, I'm just going to say that the victims of this, of narcissistic abuse, they've already been gaslit. And if you haven't seen what gaslighting is, or gaslit, past tense, gaslighting is where you basically tell somebody they didn't see what they saw. So you make the person doubt their own perceptions. You make the person, if the person says, "Wait, you were on your phone and I saw a girl's number come up." Somebody's in a relationship, a man who's cheating, who happens to be NPD, which is devastating in anything. But what's different is that in a normal, healthy relationship, say that woman catches the man cheating, or pulling up his phone and a number pops up and it's a girl's number. In a healthy relationship, there's going to be some guilt or remorse on the part of the man who is normal, who is healthy. And when I mean healthy, I mean somebody that doesn't lack empathy, which is the number one trait, which is the most identifiable trait, the discernible trait of somebody with NPD. So that person is going to recognize that his partner is being affected by his actions, that what he's doing is hurting somebody else. He gives a crap, okay? He actually cares about the other partner. In an NPD relationship, or a psychopathic, or any type of toxic relationship where gaslighting is involved, because the person is or does have that personality disorder or is on the spectrum and has those traits, what's going to happen, or what does happen, is the person will deny it, okay? And the reason they're denying it, there's all kinds of reasons, but for the sake of simplicity here, the narcissist, the abusive, the toxic person lives in a state of denial. They deny their own feelings. They are not in touch with their own feelings. They don't have empathy to be able to understand what other people are going through or hurting. And they've been taught, they've been conditioned from an early age to not care about their feelings. They're basically, and because they're not in touch with their own feelings, they don't care about other people's feelings. So what's going to happen is the same thing that'll happen. Okay, so we take the same circumstance. Phone's ringing, a woman's name is coming up. The guy's cheated, or the guy's thinking about cheating. Well, no, in this case, the narcissist is usually probably cheated already. What's going to happen is, this is where there's a great opportunity for gaslighting. This happens a lot. This happened to me. Okay, not with a man, but with my ex-wife. He's going to say, oh, first of all, so let me just take a step back before I kind of give you this explanation, because I can base it on what happened to me. Is this person is going to try to get you to believe whatever it is they can. In other words, the truth does not matter, okay? Your truth does not matter. The truth to the narcissist doesn't even matter. The truth to the narcissist is whatever they can make it up to be. So there is no such thing as real truth. You've got an illusion. You have a false explanation for everything. And if they can get you to believe that false explanation, then in the narcissist's mind, if they can get you to believe it and you think it's true, then they think it's true. It is the strangest thing, and I still don't get it. I still have a hard time wrapping my brain around it. But basically, they believe their own BS, okay? They just do, and I don't get it. I've never understood it. Because reality to me is reality. I mean, so going back to what happens in that event, somebody, spouse's woman's name pops up. First of all, and this, we'll just be specific on this example, but I'm general. Apply it across however you may. But first of all, he's going to deny it happened. He's going to say, no, there wasn't. And you're going to say, well, no, I saw a name right there. It was a Cindy or no, you didn't. So now that person's denying your reality. They're saying what you perceived was false. And because you're in a relationship with them where your whole sense of being is validated with them, which is very unhealthy, I've learned, by the way. Don't do it. Of course, it's easier said than done, right? We've been doing it since we were a child. But because your sense of perception, just like a kid going, Mommy, is it okay if I go play, with Jimmy? And Mommy says, yes, Allie, it's okay. Just that same interaction is what you have when you have a relationship with narcissists. It's basically two it's dysfunctions that are carried on from childhood. I was going to say it's childish thinking, but it's just dysfunctions. It's the parts in childhood that were arrested, that never really kind of came out of their shell, that never really evolved. Now, for a codependent, since we have introspection, we can grow out of those, okay? We can change, basically. But the narcissists, they're stuck, okay? Little tiny percentage of them actually change, okay? So that's kind of how that works. So they're going to deny what you saw on the phone. They're going to say, no. They're going to say, no. So then they go to the next lie. And they do this thing called I don't know if anyone's said it before, but I call it, would you believe? Would you believe? And we used to play this game in middle school. Would you believe this? Would you believe that? So they keep playing this game of would you believe. They go to the next level. So instead of saying, and if you don't buy that this thing you saw on their phone that said Cindy, if you don't buy it, they can tell. They're very good. Their sensing is very good. They are black belts. We haven't even walked in the door of the karate school yet. And they're already black belts in what they do because they've been doing this since they were a kid. Okay, we don't understand them. And it's okay. Just understand you got to get away from them. Okay. And a lot of us do want to understand it, right? Because we want to figure out what happened and why did I see this person the way they did. You know, is it me or is it them? Is it me or is it them? Or is it me or is it them? I'm doing this backwards. Oh, it's what you want to learn at first when you come into these groups. Yeah, it's a part of you, and it's part of them. After all, that's how a relationship works. But it's mostly them, folks, and this is what I'm getting at. It's mostly them, okay? It's not your fault, like Dana says. It's not your fault. You happen to win the narcissist lottery. You will have a relationship with somebody that randomly picked you out of a crowd. Well, they didn't randomly pick you out, but basically, you kind of get the gist. So, I got to wrap this video up here because I'm going to go over to my friend's house and I'm almost there. So, going back to my example. I saw a woman's name pop up on your phone. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Come on. I saw it right there. Look, it's right there again. Look, you know how the Apple phones do the 2-minute thing where it pops up again. Oh, that's a friend of mine from work. Okay, well, why are you acting so strange about it? What do you mean acting strange? Well, why didn't you just tell me that in the beginning? I swear, you're so sensitive. Changing away from the subject, not talking about the subject. That's what they do, folks. And that'll continue until you buy the lie. Would you believe she's my sister's friend? Would you believe whatever you will believe? The narcissist will wrap that up, put a bow on it, hand it over, and we're done with that. Let's shove that down, put that in the closet, not talk about that again. They will manipulate you to make sure you don't talk about that again. So, wanted to give you some examples of that. So I hope this gives you some good information to kind of chew on today, kind of think about. No, it's not you. You've been told, you've been led to believe it's you, and you need to hear this from me, from any YouTuber, from Dana. You need to hear that it's not you, okay? You need to hear that over and over again so you can get out of this funk. Because they put you in a funk, all right? And you will. It just takes time. Go no contact with them too, by the way. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good Saturday. Or end of Saturday if you're in Australia. Bye.